Hello, everyone. My name is Tenaya Wiley, and I'm here with my partner, Josh Leeming, and we are presenting Understanding Phenylketonuria and Assessing Potential Therapies. We also conducted this research with two other group mates, Emma Lou and Darren Sotade. Just to give a background on phenylketonuria, it is an autosomal recessive disorder in which there is a mutation in the phenylalanine hydroxylase gene, which results in the inability to break down phenylalanine into tyrosine. Um, Symptoms include neurological problems, including seizures, intellectual disability, behavioral problems, hyperactivity, microcephaly, musty odor, and skin rashes. Um, Even though this only affects 1 in 15,000 babies in the US, there still is no cure at the moment. But with our research, we are hoping that we can find a way to help these children find ways to get rid of the disease. Um, those who are diagnosed with PKU have to stick to a strict phenylalanine-free diet because they can risk developing those symptoms such as the neurological and behavioral problems. In the previous decades, research has shown the potential of somatic gene therapy as a non-dietary cure. But the current treatments that we have right now so far for PKU is that infants are screened at birth just by a blood test. And then they are put on that phenylalanine-free diet for life. But we also have sapropterin, and that can be prescribed for patients over 1 month of age. And it acts as an analog to tetrahydrobiopterin to stimulate PAH breakdown into phenylalanine. And now I will pass it over to Josh.
We included an image of some of the biochemistry of how phenylalanine is broken down into tyrosine. And a lot of these symptoms, pretty much all of them, in fact, are directly related to the inability to break down phenylalanine. Like the musty odor on the breath and skin, that's a result of that. We didn't include it in the symptoms list to save space, but another symptom is really fair skin, hair, and eyes, and that is due to the inability to break down phenylalanine into tyrosine, and tyrosine can be made into melanin, and that's the reason you see that in some of those patients. And research on PKU has been done for decades, and the first real attempt at somatic gene therapy was done in 1994 on mice. And there were 3 different methods that were used. They used a recombinant retroviral vector, DNA protein complex, and then an adenoviral vector. And the retroviral vector and the DNA protein complexes were both used to introduce a functional copy of the PAH gene to the mouse hepatocytes in vitro. However, with those 2 methods, the in vivo transduction efficiency was not very good, and some level of PAH function was brought back, but not as much as when they used the adenoviral vectors placed directly into portal circulation. And then another university, Tufts University at Medford, they're currently working on engineering probiotic therapy for PKU patients, where they introduce some bacteria that deliver phenylalanine ammonia lyase, which essentially just redirects phenylalanine away from the apical amino acid transporters in the gut. And it's an alternative to gene therapy. And just to wrap things up, the aim of this literature-based study was to understand the molecular basis of PKU and examine some potential therapies. And while gene therapy has corrected PAH activity to some extent, in vitro and in vivo, it's not perfect. Development of an effective gene therapy system will likely make PKU a curable disease. And the 2 research articles mentioned, we have links to them, and if you're interested, you can look at those. And that pretty much does it. Thank you for listening.